During election rallies, you often find people talking about more. I want more this, I want more that, I would like the government to do this and the other. Very seldom do they say, how is the government going to pay for this? Last night at the Workers' Party rally, Mr. Loh Teck Yang spoke at length about nationalizing public transport and utilities. He says, why do you have private companies? Why not take it over? Government runs this. If the government runs this, then you don't need profits. Then it'll be cheaper. If it were so simple, why hasn't every other country in the world done that? Ask yourself. Why is it many countries which used to do that, have the government run it, have decided this is bad, better let the private sector have a role, and we manage it and oversee it and regulate it, and we make sure that it works properly for Singaporeans. If, in fact, the government Pao Ka Liao solves every problem, then why in China did Deng Xiaoping have to do 改革开放, liberalization and opening up, and upturn so many things which Mao Zedong believed in, and depend on the market, depend on profits, depend on people getting wealthy, bringing the country forward. If the government can do everything and all will be well, then the North Koreans should be the most prosperous people in the world. It would be so simple. So, there are no easy solutions. We will try to find the best way to do it, and we will help Singaporeans who have a problem with utilities, with public transport. We have transport vouchers. We have YouSave. We have ComCare. If you have a problem, we probably have a scheme. If you don't have a scheme, we have a good MP. Look for a good MP. The MP will help you to solve that problem. It doesn't mean that we leave everything to companies and to the private sector and the government just sits there and does nothing. We are an activist government. Public transport, what is the government doing? We are spending $60 billion over 10 years. $60 billion. That means 6 followed by, I think, 10 zeros. A lot of zeros, but government is investing so that by 2030, we will double the rail network in Singapore. Government is responsible. That's why we have a good rail network in Singapore. Government intervenes because we believe housing is important. We want Singaporeans to live in good, affordable housing. We have moved in. Hence, we have HDB flats all over Singapore. Why does Punggol North or Punggol East look like this? Because of the government, because of HDB. We have made it like this. If the government were not there doing this, Punggol East will look like Hong Kong. You can live, but it's a very different place. You won't own your home. It will be crowded. It's at the mercy of the property market. But here, with the government, we stabilize BTO. You have to wait a little bit, but you will get a good flat. And if you have a good government, the flat will maintain its value. So, we will try to do the right thing. I'm not arguing the exact content of the policies. We can do that in Parliament or in so many other places. But I'm saying, I'm honest with you. If there's a trade-off, if there's something tough, I have to explain that to you. I'm not pretending. I think that's an important part of wearing white and white. Another example of integrity is how we handle embarrassments and mistakes. Take, for example, this by-election. Why are we here? Because Mr. Michael Palmer had to resign. And when he offered his resignation, I accepted immediately, and we handled this transparently and openly. And hence, today we have this by-election. I'm sorry that we have put the residents through another election so quickly, but I have to point out that what we did, the PAP did in Punggol East, is quite different from how the Workers' Party handled Hougang when Mr. Lee Li Lian went missing in action. That is what it means to have integrity. I concede Nobody is perfect. Nobody is without lapses. Certainly not the PAP. We make mistakes and lapses from time to time, but we will admit to our mistakes and shortcomings and do our best to put things right and work with Singaporeans to do better. That's how we have maintained our reputation for so long, and that's how we must uphold the integrity of our system for many more years to come. We have to ask ourselves in Singapore, what sort of Singapore do you want in 10 or 20 years' time? What leaders do we want? Do we want honest leaders who will explain our challenges, who will work with you to find solutions and overcome these challenges? Or are we prepared to have people who will make empty promises and leave it to others to get the job done? Their job just to slap the other fellow once in a while. What kind of politics do you want? The politics of cohesion or the politics of division? Cohesion politics, constructive politics, is where we work with one another and we make policies which will benefit all of us. Divisive politics is where we slap one another and then we call that checks and balances. It's very easy. It's very, very easy to excite people, to agitate people, to divide people, especially during election time, especially on election rallies. Because nobody is standing opposite you and saying, hold on, can you explain that? How does that tally with what you said yesterday? But it's much, much harder to bring people together and get people to work for the common good. And the second, getting people to work together for the common good is what the PAP wants, and I think that is what Singaporeans want too. But you also have to ask yourself, what kind of opposition? What kind of opposition do you want? Because in a democracy there are many parties and some parties are in the opposition. Do you want the Workers' Party of last week's rally, when they were supporting the PAP's policies and claiming that they do not blindly oppose policy, but they'll give the PAP time to show what it can do because they don't want to checkmate the PAP and mess things up? Or do we want yesterday's Workers' Party, frightening residents to vote for the PAP? Within 1 week, from a constructive position to a demanding and destructive position. As they say in Chinese, 工人党政策像月亮，初一十五不一样。 The Workers' Party policies is like the moon. On the first day and on the 15th day, it's different. So we need to develop a capable and a committed leadership for Singapore. Good MPs to represent us, good ministers who can run the country and work with us, constructive politics to tackle our challenges together. And that's why I have been bringing in new faces to renew our ranks, to strengthen our ranks, to reinforce our team, to reinforce your team, because this team really is Team Singapore. Last year, or 2 years ago, GE 2011, we brought in more than 20 new candidates. Some new ministers, many new MPs. Heng Swee Keat, Chan Chun Sing, Tan Chuan Jin, Lawrence, many new MPs, including Ms. Intan, who made you a good speech just now, and is my colleague in Ang Mo Kio GRC. They are making a contribution, but I would like to strengthen the team so that it can do even better for Singapore, so that your future can be even more secure. For Punggol East by-election, I recommend to you Dr. Koh Poh Kun. He came through our system. I met him. I persuaded him to come in because I decided he was a good man. And I'm confident he will make you a good MP. He took a while to think it over, because what I was asking of him was not a light thing. It's a difficult decision. If I had asked him and he said yes straight away, I would have been a bit shaken. Does he know what he's in for? It's not just a by-election which he has to fight, but after that, the commitment, the obligation, the responsibility, what it means to be a PAP MP and to wear these whites. He thought carefully. I met him more than once. Eventually, he decided, yes, he was ready. He answered the call. He was prepared to give it a fight. My respect for him went up after that. Koh Poh Koon will serve Punggol East residents well, and he has the potential to do more than that and to serve Singapore well. So please endorse my recommendation. Support what my team and I are trying to do for Singapore. Work with us to improve our lives and the lives of all our children, and vote for Dr. Koh Poh Koon and the PAP on Saturday. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you, Comrade Lee. Thank you very much.